Hello, everybody, and welcome back to The Beat. To talk to us about her new creative project happening is Professor Suzanne Gainer. Suzanne Gainer, thank you so much for joining us on the set today.
Sure, RJ. Nice to be here.
It's great to have you here. So take us back to the morning after Election Day for you. What was that like? Now, did you stay up until 2 a.m. watching the results come in?
I did not. I probably stayed up till about midnight and couldn't keep my eyes open any longer, and was really still hoping for a different result. But then I woke up and I felt completely devastated and just shell-shocked, really. So yeah, that's what happened there.
So what is your political stand? Like, what are the issues that you strongly believe in?
Well, I strongly believe in democracy. It's no surprise that I'm kind of a left-leaning liberal woman, but I really believe in the freedom of speech, freedom of the press, equality for all, women, gay rights, people with disabilities, freedom of religion. All of these basic human rights that we have worked so hard to achieve. So that's what I believe in, and I believe in I don't think I'm a socialist necessarily, but I do believe in everybody pitching in to create a better and stronger world, through taxes or whatever needs to be done to collectively do that.
So we'll talk about your project in just a second, but in your What's Up at WU email announcement about this project, you said that you were deeply concerned of the state of our democracy and the challenges happening under the new administration. What have you seen the new administration done that has concerned you the most?
I think, one of the questions I'm asking people in my interviews is what are you most afraid of? And the variety of answers is really interesting, but I think if I were to answer that myself, it's the loss of our democracy. And meaning that I believe that the current administration is moving toward a populist and totalitarian, in the extreme, identity. And so the things that I'm concerned about that have already happened has been the increase of hate crimes, the increase of the divisions among the population in the United States, the cuts into very, very important institutions, the National Endowment for the Arts, the environment, the EPA, education, all of these things that are, how do I want to say it, are sacred in terms of how they help the population and how they help the United States citizenry is being kind of pushed down in an effort to increase profit. And that's being seen by the number of people that Trump has appointed to these positions of power.
The students that you interact with on a daily basis, do you see them being as in tune to these issues as you are?
I think it's hard to generalize. I think there are certainly a number of students who are very active and very engaged in the political process, whether they're on the left or the right. And I think both viewpoints are absolutely valid, and if anybody can be engaged in our democracy, that's great. I do have to say that I'm surprised by the number of students who did not vote, who could have voted, especially if they're first election at age 18. And I don't know why that is. I don't think it's apathy so much as it was about being bombarded with maybe too much information, maybe not knowing kind of how to parse out what the information is all about and what to do with it. You've got all kinds of sound bites going one way or the other. Oh, do this or do that, believe this or believe that. Without any guidance, it's really hard to kind of figure out where to go with that.
Yeah. All right, so like I said at the beginning, you are working on a new creative project with your partner, Maria Skinner. Tell us about this project. What is it all about?
So this project, it's interesting that right away you pegged me as a liberal. because I was hoping to be less transparent in this. So I might have
It's
to.
okay. We liberals can see each other clearly.
We have to. I'm going to have to reword this, especially as I travel. So, like I said, my biggest concern is about our threats to democracy, and one of the things that I think threatens our democracy is division, and I think there are stereotypes that we on the left have of people on the right, and that people on the right have of people on the left, and these stereotypes are ugly, and they're not necessarily true. I myself grew up in the Rust Belt. I grew up in a small town called Latrobe, Pennsylvania. It's about an hour southeast of Pittsburgh. My Gainer family roots are in Appalachia. My family's from West Virginia. So hearing people in New England talk about, talk disparagingly about some of the Trump supporters in that region made me feel a little bit, made me cringe a little, And at the same time, hearing myself and my friends being called snobby elitists makes me cringe a little too. So I don't think we're really those things. I think there's a bit of that going on, but I want to find out what we have in common and what unites us more than what divides us. So I'm going around interviewing people, everybody, as many people as I can, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people, asking people about what it is they believe in, what do they hold dear, who are they as people, what their fears are, what their hopes are, to kind of get a sense of who we are as a people. And then I'm also asking, well, who did you vote for? So in the end, then I'll take a portrait, and then in the end, the portraits are going to be combined together as one face, and then, I have an example. Okay? So this is an example. So it'll be combined together as one face, but then there'll be text on both sides talking about some pulled from the interviews, so that you'll see like some statistical differences up here about political affiliation, but then down here some very common things that we'll find. This one is, I just combined my face and Maria's face so people could get a sense of what the compilation will look like. Each one will look a little bit different, obviously with different people, and this one would never be used because we're too similar in ideology. So I'm not going to use myself or her in the project. But
So what is your working relationship with Maria like?
Oh, Maria's she's inspirational. She's very grounded, and I'm pretty much the artistic force behind the project. It's my idea and my work, but she, like I was telling you before we started the interview, she had a dream about this project before it even was conceptualized. She came to me, she said, Suzanne, I had this dream last night that we were doing this project and we were going around interviewing people. And I think that started the gears running around in my head. Also because I felt like I needed to do something. Like I think a lot of people after the election really felt like I gotta do something. So my answer to that is dance and make art. So so that's what I do. I dance and I make art.
That's really awesome.
Yeah.
So you found a lot of interested students that are participating in this. How, if someone who's watching this right now is interested in working on this with you, how can they contact you?
So I have, if you're on Worcester State campus, you can contact me at my Worcester State email, which is sgainer@worcester.edu. I also started an email just for this project. It's visible.indivisible@gmail.com. And I also have started a Facebook page Facebook. If you just type in Visible, Indivisible on Facebook, you should be able to find us. So I will connect, if people want to be a part of the project, I can set up individual appointments where I'll interview and photograph you. And I will be setting up more kind of group photo shoots on campus and in other locations. I also want to say that I'm taking it on the road too. I mean, I think if I only photograph in Massachusetts, I'm going to get a pretty liberal slant. I mean, there are conservatives in Massachusetts, but
Not many.
not many. And I think I think most of the conservatives in this state are pretty moderate. So I am going to be spending a week in West Virginia with my brother. I'm going to be spending a weekend in Pennsylvania with my sister, and hopefully in other locations. I think I'm going to go down to Florida with Maria and get as many people as I can.
That is so awesome. Is there anything else you want our audience to know before we go?
Well, just that I'm really excited about this project. It's I think if there's one good thing that came out of this change in administration is that people are really tapping into their creativity and their activism and talking, and I think there's a lot of energy out there. And I think what I also want to say about it is that I'm going to be in the photography interview stage probably till about June or July, and then the compiling will start. Ultimately, there'll be a website, an online gallery, perhaps a traveling exhibit. So we'll see where it goes.
I can't wait to see what the end result of this project is going to be. Professor Gainer, thank you
Thank
so
you
much
so
for
much,
joining us
RJ.
on the set
It was a
today.
pleasure.
And thank you at home for watching the show today. As always, we hope you learned something really exciting here on The Beat. I'm RJ Sheedy. So long, everybody.